Hey there everyone, it's Nathaniel here again. Are you guys ready for another episode of Kid Time? I know I am. Then let's get started. Today's lesson is from John chapter 6, verses 1 through 14. How many of you have a lunchbox or a lunch kit kind of like this? Maybe it's a tin one or soft-sided like this one is. Maybe you have a lunch that you bring in a paper bag, or maybe you buy lunch in a cafeteria all the time. Does your school have a cafeteria? That'd be pretty cool. Now, do you ever trade snacks with your friends at school? Shh, don't tell your parents, but you can nod silently if you do. You see, when I was in school, I traded a lot. And my favorite trade ever was when I traded some guy a granola bar and he gave me some Oreo cookies. Can you believe it? Actually, if you guys did drive-through Sunday school today already as a family, you might recognize this story because it's the same one. But today, we're gonna look at it from a different perspective. We're gonna be talking about a boy and his lunch kit. Well, actually it was probably more like a basket in those days. And see, the lunch he took, it might not be worth very much in a trade. You see, he had 5 loaves of bread, small loaves of bread, and 2 pieces of fish. How many of you would give up your Oreos for that kind of a lunch? I know I wouldn't. The boy was not going to school that day, but instead, he was going to hear a great teacher. His name was Jesus. You've probably heard of him if you've read the Bible. See, he was one in a large number of people who went to see Jesus that day. The Bible says that there were 5,000 men. And if we were to guess that, say, there was 1 woman and 2 children for every 1 man, if I do some quick mental math, aha! That means that there was more than 20,000 people there, maybe. The boy was just one in 20,000 people. That is so many, I can't even picture it. Now, it was getting very late in the day, and the people, they were starting to get hungry. You see, very few of them, if any, brought food like the little boy did. At the front of the crowd, Jesus' disciples were telling him to send the people away so that they could find something to eat. Now, Jesus, as he often did, put a challenge out to his disciples. He said to them, "You give them something to eat." The disciples were beside themselves. They had no idea what Jesus was talking about. You see, if they were to find food for all these people, it would cost an absolute fortune. Now, we don't know exactly how it happened, but somehow this little boy found out that Jesus was looking to feed the crowd. One of his disciples, he brought him to Jesus, and the little boy offered his 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Jesus took the food and he blessed it. Then he began to break up the food and give it to his disciples and distribute it amongst all the people. Suddenly, the little boy's little lunch fed more than 20,000 people, with 12 baskets of food left over afterward. It would have been very easy for the little boy to keep his lunch to himself. He was one person in a crowd of more than 20,000 people. And what difference could 5 loaves of bread and 2 measly fish make? You see, the little boy, he didn't keep his food to himself. He gave all he had. He placed it in Jesus' hands, and just look what Jesus did with it. No gift is too small when given to the Lord, and no offering too small to make a difference. Remember that, and look for opportunities to give to God and to others. You'll be amazed at what He can do with a giving heart. That's all for this week. Thanks again for joining me, And I can't wait to see you all back here again next week for another episode of... Whew. I am so hungry after shooting that video. Let's see what I got for lunch today. A blue glove? Wait, hand sanitizer? A Band-Aid? Oh, looks like I accidentally took my first aid kit.